The game started. My apologies.
I'm in. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, all right. We're catching up here.
We're 100% fine.
You know what I realized? Well, I didn't realize it. It was pointed out to me. Their flags are very similar, dude. One's vertical and one's horizontal, if you look at them.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. It doesn't seem like it's that interesting for you, though.
And if you think about it, Peru is also very similar to Europe, because if you spell Peru backwards, it's Europe.
Were you just storing that one up, or did you just think of that one right now?
No, it's a well-known fact.
Okay,
it's
true.
a well-known fact. Yeah.
All right, well, I don't read, so I probably just missed that one. All right, well, big series here. Hearttt has looked really good in this group, and he's got 5 wins right now. I thought in this group it would be Viper first, Hearttt second, but now Hearttt seemingly, has a jump start on Viper and could potentially win the group. So he's playing as the Italians. Andy's got 3 wins after 2 rounds. And I think he's looked solid. And this could honestly be a really good map for him against Hearttt to start off a series.
I mean, it could be, but also it's a map that might be able to suit Andy's purposes because he can't be hit on land right away.
Yeah.
And this Titans League is not really the greatest map group for Andy, if you think about it. Like previous Titans Leagues, I think there was more closed maps in general. And when Andy was seeing his rise into potentially the top 10 for a bit there, all the tournaments had closed maps.
Yeah.
And he was doing great, right? He was just fast castling, taking as little damage as possible. Once he gets there, he plays monks into siege or whatever. And this time around, it's been a bit of a struggle, I think, to be fair for him, the last few tournaments.
Yeah, so he played Valis, if I'm not mistaken. He won 2-1 there. And then he was against Daniel. I think he really is going to be regretting the 3rd game there because he had such a good start, but then it was a full disaster, dude. He deleted his own tower by mistake. He didn't have Loom. The list goes on and on. So he lost 2-1 to Daniel. But I think Andy's kind of competing for that 4th spot, I would say, with Daniel, with Valis. But 3 wins out of 6 is pretty good. And now he brings the
villager
scout
right
here.
away from Hearttt.
Wow.
Yep, and that villager doesn't have Loom yet, so Hearttt is going to attempt to chase it away. Andy doesn't want to take too much damage. Heartt's posturing like the scout is nearby.
Yeah.
And the scout is definitely not nearby. The scout is going to Andy's base, so maybe he's playing this game where he's going to block the dock and also try and snipe the dock villager from Andy. But Andy wisely sent 2 vills out to the dock, so he's going to be perfectly safe on his own dock.
Yeah, I'm seeing Hearttt now go over to snipe, and yeah, Andy's done the small things correctly here. This is the type of thing that I think can suit Andy on this map. It's a tricky map to play. It's very adaptive, which is kind of Andy's style, and I also don't think there's a clear meta for it, honestly. If I were to think of one, I would think maybe going fire galleys out of 1 dock and then going archers on the island. But then it's like, are you going archers on the correct island? Did you get the proper scouting intel? And so when I think of Heartt's like, whatever the meta is, he's going to out-execute you, and you can't do anything about it. And so this map isn't necessarily that for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of... It depends on how big the islands are, where your opponent lands at first, right? What scouting you get, how lucky you are as well in that scouting, because there's only so much time, even with the transport ship and the scout. Andy has a really nice advantage here early, though. He delayed that dock forever. He had 2 fishing ships out and a 3rd one coming out at the same time. The first ship came out from Hearttt, and Hearttt wasn't gathering the shorefish or the box turtles or whatever during that time. So you look at the res collected, Andy is ahead by 100. And he's going to be a little bit slower to the feudal age, but still, it's a really, really nice beginning for him. He's got so many villagers on the water buffalo. They're really crowded there.
Yeah, great scouting as well from Andy to scout the smaller islands. So sometimes this happens. One of the neutral islands is smaller than the other. And now he's got a scout actively on the other side. Heartt's done a similar thing, though. So I would assume that players are going to opt to build their lumber camps on the bigger area. And oh my God, Andy's scout.
The scout almost got stuck there. It
bumped
its way free, but I mean, there's a scout right there from Hearttt. And Andy's probably going to lose this unless he can get it back to the transport ship. Doesn't look like he can. Nice block there from Hearttt initially.
Dude, that's brutal, though. That is so brutal. To lose your scout. We were just talking about how important it is to know where the opponent is and what they're doing. And now Andy doesn't have any of that information. Yikes.
Still has the transport ship, so a little bit of extra info for him. And he's actually transported over to the other island, and he made a dock there to get his fish a little bit more efficient. He's going to shift them over there now. So Hearttt might not have knowledge of that dock, and it might take him a while to find that.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a different build, right? Heartt's going to go 1 dock fires, and he wants archers, I'm assuming, because he's building a barracks right now as an opening. And Andy's going to go galleys. The nice thing here with the Armenians is, as Hearttt will see the second dock, you don't have to be worried about committing to this type of build and then just having a lumber camp that is in the middle of nowhere.
You could actually go out to the buildable terrain areas for trees on the corner, which we never see, right? Like you could transport a mule cart over here and just be completely hidden. And what are the chances that Heartt's going to see that? It's very, very low.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, so like I don't think other civs will go galleys here because they will run out of wood on the starting area and then their eco's super inefficient. But when you have the mule cart, it's fine. And Hearttt will know it's coming. And now Andy's bringing some vills, and Hearttt is... Man, he's been so active with that scout. That's crazy that he finds that.
Andy's going for an early tower near that gold. So he's looking for... He's got gold on his own island, like... He should just go out to these little areas in the corners for wood, man. It'll never be found.
Also, so he doesn't know his opponent's going barracks archers, so he has no clue. But he does know that Hearttt sees him, and he does know that Hearttt has vills over here. So I would actually really like Andy to just go to the other island right now and not commit to this island. This is like, seems really risky, and Heartt's going to pounce here, and Hearttt will deny the tower, and the villagers have to flee into the transport ship.
One villager goes down, but the big deal is that tower being at 75%.
Yeah.
There goes your stone, right? Like, and there goes all that time you spent on that. Now Andy needs to leave after losing a villager. He was looking for maybe like a mill because he needs a mill to make the market, and he wanted one on the hunt to give it some value. But I mean, it's just a really brutal situation for him. He overextended to where he knew Hearttt had his scout, and he knew the villagers were there from Hearttt too.
Heartt's so prepped for this, man. Look at this. Look what immediately, like he pounced on the tower, pushed it away. He now knows my opponent's going galleys. He's distracted trying to deal with my fires. I am going to transport these archers across to the island and use my archers here. And this is just so good from Hearttt. It's immediate. And this comes, I think, from the practice. This was obviously a map at Noble Apartment Cup too, so that could play its role. And now Andy has no military to defend this.
Andy's so cooked. He's so done here. Like, what's he going to do? He doesn't even have a barracks yet, I don't think, unless he's got one on the island. He doesn't. He made a mill over there. He's running with all of his villagers. He only has one transport ship to transport everything, and the galleys even haven't even found value.
Yeah.
The galleys have been, like, exploring the weird Jaguar Island over there, or Tiger Island or whatever. Like, I mean, absolutely nothing for Andy.
But can we talk about his resources though? Because his res collected's higher. He could maybe click up to Castle Age. If he could snipe this transport ship, maybe things end up being okay. But yeah, it's just super adaptive, and it's not how he would have wanted things to go.
No. A lot of the times, like when Andy was getting results in the games he was playing, you would think, okay, Andy's dead, but then he would survive. He would survive, and he'd get the Castle Age, and then he'd start pushing people back. This is like not the Castle Age timing you want to see. He's even getting the gold mining upgrade, so he can just use the market for absolutely everything.
Dude, but that's crazy damage control. I mean, you can do this with the mule cart. Just toss everything on gold. He has food on the other island. He's got 6 galleys with the Armenians. Heartt's archers don't actually add... Oh, man, there's a hole, actually. So the archers do add value. Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, God. Oh, no. And he already used the stone for the tower, so he's going to have to buy stone if he wants a tower here.
Yeah.
He actually walls it off. Gold mining upgrade is more effective with Armenians, as well as the wood upgrade. But it's still going to be a really, really brutal situation for Andy here as he finally clicks up to Castle Age. He still has more res collected overall, but it's only a matter of time, it feels like, before this is broken. This little setup he's got.
I mean, but Hearttt isn't clicked up. Heartt's navy is useless right now. This is kind of tough for Hearttt, man. I mean, those three are... You're not going to see more archers come to this island anymore. And Hearttt, as of now, can't transport his new archers over to the other island because of the lack of Navy control. So if Andy can start to drop TCs, maybe you drop a siege workshop to make a scorpion for the 3 archers that are on the your starting island here. Might actually be okay. Heartt's also had no fish. There's 5 fishing ships for Andy. This is why I actually really like this map. It's also why I thought I'm not surprised people have banned it, because this is like 2 completely different openings and a lot of craziness has happened so far.
So Andy sent the galleys all the way around to the right. Heartt's transport ship is now free to transport the archers over if he wants to.
Yeah.
Andy's actually sent 2 villagers to Heartt's main island. So, I mean, we could see a situation where maybe Andy is going for a siege push or fortified church push. Hearttt just missing those villagers.
Oh,
no, he sees them.
He sees them. That's so interesting. So Hearttt wanted to go to the transport, and then he spots the outposts. And yeah, that's two Vil kills. Well played from Hearttt. Yeah, if he can get the transport over right now, dude, this is when Andy wants to build TCs.
Like, Andy should be controlling the water. There's no purpose for these galleys to be all the way to the right.
Well, the last
all
time,
the way over.
Yeah, but the last time the transport came, it came from right here.
Yeah, but you send 1 galley, dude. You send one.
Yeah. Not the whole group.
You know, all of them.
Yeah. Oh, he's bringing more galleys to the middle.
Oh, and there's the archers as the TC goes up from Andy. That town center is only at 15%. Oh, no. If Hearttt can see this, I think he will.
This is perfect timing.
This is a disaster.
This is perfect timing for Hearttt. Andy, he just hasn't been able to keep track of the transport, dude. He attacked the transport at one point as well. The transport was weak, but Hearttt escaped with it. And this was where I was confident in Andy, is if he could get this TC down and start to boom with water control, his position would be superior. But this is so painful.
This is so much damage, and Hearttt is about to hit Castle Age, and Andy might say that and just be like, bro.
Yeah.
Like, at least...
It must be so frustrating to be Andy right now, because you like feel like you've won water, and that transport just happened for the second time. Brutal. And
the archers are still attacking on the gold. When Hearttt gets bodkin arrow and crossbow, those archers can completely rip through that gold.
Yeah, so he's got to move now.
And he's got to leave.
Well played from Hearttt, man. Very active. Lost his fish early. Still stayed consistent. He will now drop TC number 2. And this is actually where, I mean, Hearttt can be more active with the archers, but this is where a lot of the times it's really tough to kill the opponent. So just booming is key. Yeah.
Yeah, like Andy doesn't have much res to keep investing into water. You can see Hearttt getting war galleys, going for the odd dock here and there. It's just fires from different directions. And eventually you're going to... You know, he's got 4 fires in his starting dock. Eventually, you're going to kill these galleys.
Yep. That's perfect. And Andy needs to use all his food eco to catch up in Vils. So he can't get War Galley. He can't get Bodkin Arrow. Super smooth play from Hearttt. And it's going to be tough for Andy now. We talk about it all the time, how it's so tough to micro galleys on a map like this when there's so many different areas to focus on. And especially against Hearttt.
I still think, dude, if you're going to go galleys here with this strategy like Andy... Don't go to the middle islands at all.
Yeah,
go for wood
just
on
wait.
The little ones on the sides or something. Like, you're controlling water. What are the odds he's going to find you? Very low.
If you're Armenians, especially, I agree. The other thing that I wouldn't mind, and this is fun, we get to like theory craft a little bit because we'll see more of this. What if you just had one Vil outposting the islands and nothing else? That way, when you go there later on, you know what the opponent's doing and if they have army
and
there.
Your opponent is like, oh god, he's here.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I think that's
mind game.
I think we're onto something there, but players kind of get better as maps are played, and this just has not been played a lot. And Hearttt, he just did such a good job with the early archers. The fact that the archers are still there is crazy.
With Bodkin Arrow now, so they can range from both sides.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Andy makes the monastery number 2. Is he going to garrison that to fire arrows on the archer? Is that his plan? Maybe. Seems like it could be, but it's still just...
I mean, with this damage, you can also just make one priest and heal as they kill.
Oh, true.
Just keep mining the gold, yeah.
He's making a monk, actually. I guess he could pick up the relic and convert some of the archers.
And if he picks up the relic, it'll start firing. So
yeah, Well,
3 birds with 1 stone.
Hearttt has done a fantastic job. He's 2 TCs. Love his farming eco in the starting area. I love the amount of fires he has. He's even getting careening now.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really good. That kind of neutralizes the extra arrow from Andy's ships, which is good.
And he is 3 TCs. He does have 2 relics in already, so there are things to think about positively for him, as well as cleaning up his starting island. But the Italians have as good a navy as the Armenians, I'd say. I think Armenian navy is probably one of the best in the game if they get all their techs, but you need the eco for that. Man, Hearttt looks good.
I mean, still 3 TCs for Andy, right? Like, he's behind by 16 vills, but he's still alive, which I didn't think he would be at this stage.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like, there's not a lot you can really do if you're Hearttt right now to immediately use your eco to win the game. Like, if you go try and siege push the other side, that's a pretty big investment compared to just booming. So we might have just water fights and boom till imp at this point.
It's one of those games where, like, you feel like you should be killing them fast because you're so far ahead, but killing them fast actually puts you, like, further behind.
Agreed. Yeah.
Where you would be. And then, you know, afterwards you get a bunch of people saying, well, Andy survived for a very long time and Hearttt didn't kill him off, therefore Heartt's not as good as you think he is. But you just got to take incremental advantages.
I gotta say,
eventually you're going to win the game.
Andy's still keeping his navy alive. I thought he would have lost his war galleys.
Somehow.
He hasn't lost them. Yeah, his micro has been decent. He's used the monks as well to convert some ships here or there. But I think he's about to have no docks. Heartt's really focusing this one down. But
yeah, careening's kind of big here for Hearttt. It's really, really nice. Andy now going for some demos. Hearttt can't go for demos because of the war galleys behind. So that's advantage Andy there. But Heartt's eco is looking pretty solid right now. Even a good farm count too, which is nice to see on water maps, how quickly they add the farms.
I think what Hearttt will want, because this is actually getting a little bit worrying right now. One demo from Andy and he really loses his massive fires.
Demo coming out from Hearttt.
True. And that's a good demo.
It's a decent one. It's a decent one. Yeah, there's another one in the dock too. So if these fires take a while to go down, buy some time for that demo to come out. It could take out the war galleys.
Yeah, you're never expecting
70%.
You're never expecting him to follow up with another demo. This is Hearttt after all. He's not really that type of player, and Andy will see it. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's still fires on the left side here from Hearttt. But yeah, I think Hearttt wants a castle on the shoreline just in case this becomes a problem. Just to protect those docks, and then he can head up towards
the resources are looking great for him too.
Yeah. Okay, but
81 villas for 63, like.
But if
really,
he doesn't
really
use his early imp advantage, this could be a problem. Andy's got 3 relics. He's likely to get 4, and Andy is Armenians. So that's what Andy's hoping for. Andy's like, I'm behind, but I'm still in this. And if I could maybe get a few well-placed demos against fires, this could be good for me.
I think it's just really, really tough for Andy to shut down all of the dock placements. Like, what if Hearttt were to get to imp and place a dock in the canal between the main island and Andy's island? Right?
Yeah,
Andy doesn't see it, then you just get a barracks, some condos on that main area. Suddenly the whole eco is dead. Then you do the same thing on the other side while Andy's distracted. It's just a lot of surface area that Andy can't cover. Doesn't have enough navy, and he doesn't have enough of an attention span right now.
Hearttt just keeps switching spots. Instead of, like, I don't know, using cav archers in 6 different groups on Arabia, Hearttt is just sneaking docks in 6 different spots on Pacific Islands right now. Like, he's got docks in the north and south and west of his starting area, and he's up to imp. And so he'll be there. Fast fire is where this gets really tricky for Andy. Eventually, Galleon can beat fast fire, but you need the numbers, and Andy still needs to click up. I wonder if he'll see the score is closer now, though, and like use the market and click up.
Maybe. I mean, he's working his way towards a castle, right? And like you said, he does have the relics. I think it's still very unlikely Andy can win this game, but he's done a good job to get himself into this position in the first place.
Dude, just imagine, like, Andy has had this similar strength to Hearttt, except for the second instance, in my opinion, when the archers came over and denied the TC. If that TC isn't denied, this game's even. They're going to imp at the same time, and Andy's got like, probably more Navy right now. So it really was that moment that was the big key for me. The initial archers didn't actually do that much against Andy here.
Yeah, if Andy had, like, locked down the transport ship movement or even killed that transport earlier, the Hearttt would have been in an awful position.
Yeah,
absolutely
agreed.
awful.
That's a lot of fire ships from Hearttt. He's been conserving them. And so he'll chase those war galleys. He's also coming from the other side. Andy does have monks, though. So Andy could convert the fires.
You can't deny castle with war galleys. It's never happened in the history of Age of Empires 2, dude. I've tried it 1,000 times. It's never happened. I have full belief this castle.
It sounds like you're speaking from experience yourself more than watching.
Both. I've never seen it happen, dude. They shoot so slow. It's crazy.
Well, castle goes up. And those are some weak war galleys too, man. I mean, that's a lot of fire ships from Hearttt. He has 16 fires. I mean, 4 on screen there in the middle, but he'll have 16 patrolling in from all angles. I hate it when your fire ships get stuck. Like on the one dock below Andy's starting island, those fires are just stuck there.
Yep.
Especially when your ships get stuck between your villager on shorefish and your dock. That's never fun.
Look at the positioning here from Hearttt. He's got 3 fires about to be fast fire over on the left side. They're weak, so Andy will clear them up. But here comes another force from Hearttt. So that's Andy's entire naval pressure is in the north here, and Hearttt is coming from multiple sides with fast fire in 10 seconds.
Yeah, and he could just full clear this. I don't think Andy can get away from this. And you can't stay near your docks against this many fires and hope for demos either. So this is just, you got to flee. I guess you can leave your docks, maybe. Go to the left corner.
Yeah, you can get, Cilician Fleet, which is coming in right now for Andy. And that's a great upgrade for him.
This is where a lot of players would get shipwright in Heartt's position and just plan around war galley.
Yeah. It's dry dock.
Okay. That's interesting.
He made another transport ship, too. I think... Where is that?
In the nearest island right now.
Okay, so he's sending some more villagers across from his starting island, just out of wood completely, trying to get over. Once he gets dry dock, he can fit 20 vills in there, which could be huge. And he actually using the monks now to help out against the fast fires. That's really good from him. And he's holding on to these war galleys. He's got Cilician Fleet now. He's producing more of them.
He landed a really nice demo as well on the fires coming in from Hearttt. So Andy's paying it
in the south, but dry dock is in, so Hearttt can just put 20 vills in this transport ship and brute force this castle up.
That tech is so rarely seen at high level AoE too.
It gives speed as well. Like, it's a good tech overall.
Yeah, let's see what happens with Hearttt here. I mean, he's not exactly winning water. He hasn't lost water either. Honestly, I think his position is much better than I just said. The war galley count is so low for Andy. But all these vills that were just brought over, I mean, they might not be safe. So this could be a mistake from Hearttt. This is kind of back to what we said. You go for the game-winning play, and the defensive setup from Andy is actually pretty strong here. This could throw a castle and a bunch of vills if you're Hearttt.
Chemistry is coming in for Hearttt. He's getting the siege workshop, so he's thinking bombard cannon. But Andy's already got some monks here, right? Like... I don't know, man.
This is where, again, back to what I said, I think it's unfortunate because Hearttt feels like he's had full control of this game. But I think you just got to get shipwright and go galleon yourself here. The risk is that if you lose water as a whole, you could lose everything. But he hasn't lost water. He's killing everything. I keep expecting Andy to get more numbers. Andy can't make trebs and galleons at the same time, it seems. He's got 6 demos in queue. That's it.
Yeah.
A demo army.
I think Hearttt could make, like, even just little things, like make a few Genoese Expo, transport them over to Andy's island.
Yeah, the starting island.
You know how much damage that could do? Like, Redemption coming in now for Andy. So he's thinking bombard cannons are coming out. He's correct. And he's going to think about converting those. Has 3 trebs now attacking this castle. So he might be able to push away this forward position here from Hearttt, but still, he's running out of space. He's running out of real estate.
Yeah, but Andy is running out of wood in his starting island, and he has no water control. So those vills will they won't have anywhere to go. He can't transport.
Castle goes down.
Castle goes down. And I think Andy will hold this area. But It's going to be tough for him to take water. Wow, that snipe was crazy.
That was sick, dude.
That was
so
crazy.
Good from Heartt. I don't think Sanctity is in from Andy.
No, it's not.
So that was sick, dude. Or it is. It actually is. He just sniped it. He's just straight up sniped it with the bomber cannon.
All right.
I guess it was weak.
I also think Heartt should delete his starting TC. He keeps having to bring villagers over. And it's just, at the very least, annoying to have to deal with when things are this stressful.
God, those composite bowmen are so weak. Holy.
I honestly...
Dude, 3 on 1 HP.
As the monk converts the bombard cannon, yeah, I mean, this is going to give Andy a lot of confidence. The score as well is going to give Andy a lot of confidence. Heartt's still just making fires, and Silesian Fleet heavy demo is in. So... if Andy can hold, he's got 4 relics. If he can get galleons and heavy demos, maybe he can do this. Heartt's just lost 20 vills because he brought the fight here, and he lost that castle.
And there's the galleon tech. This is probably, like you said, it's probably something that should have been done a while ago. Andy is just sending his vills at home into the fires. Oh,
He's got nowhere to go, dude. He's got nowhere to go. It's so funny. There's no trees here, and he wants his idols to go to work. But yeah, this is like, this is the step that Heartt needed to take, maybe a little bit earlier. He still has great water control with the fires. He's got the bigger island locked down as well. There's relics there he could snag. This becomes all about the ships now. All about the ships, all about the Navy. And I think the Italians can compete. If you get ship right, it could be really good for you here.
Look at the res collected. I'm stunned that it's this close.
Yeah, and my mind...
it felt like Heartt had such a huge eco lead for so long.
Agreed. Props to Andy. Like, just staying alive. I don't really know how at times, but he's just stayed in this, man. And he's been... dude, he's got so many conversions with monks this game. That's been a big part of it. Also, he will take out Heartt's castle before Heartt gets conscription. Heartt now loses the castle. What is happening, dude? Andy converting galleons,
Andy's doing a great
converting
job
fires, staying alive. Look at even this church. He's built so many churches and garrisoned them to kill off ships. That one's not garrisoned, but wow.
Finally, the galleons are coming in from Heartt, though. This is maybe a decision he should have made instead of the forward castle.
Yep.
Right? Control the water. Use the galleons. Andy does theoretically have a better navy than him if he can mass it up again. He's going for more galleons of his own. He gets the extra arrow shot. He also has dromons, which can really help in the big galley fights in the late game. He also has the Silesian Fleet heavy demos.
Yeah, there's a big issue for Andy, though. He doesn't have the ability to really group up his ships right now because his docks are all like placed in random spots after what happened earlier. Also, love the dock from Heartt in the north. That could be screwing with his own unit movement, though. He's got cannon galleons just strolling through there. Yeah. And a cannon galleon's about to be converted.
And one of them's getting converted. The conversions from Andy have been insane.
What?
Really, really nice from Andy. It immediately goes down to the tower or the castle, but like really, really good job with the monks from Andy. He's at 147 villagers. Resources are looking good if he can get those villagers off the main island. Stop taking the shore fish and go find some wood to chop.
Dude, I mean, this choke point could be a juicy choke point for demos. Andy did have a dock that got sniped.
Or Dromans as well.
Yeah, Dromans too. Heartt has... I think he could really use some more docks in the south.
Yeah, I think he's just selecting all docks and producing, and the ones in the north are just going right through Andy's navy.
Yeah, and right into the monks. He's just feeding Andy kills. I mean, we get to a point soon for Andy where he is going to need this gold and wood that's rangeable by Heartt's navy too. So
yeah,
Heartt's got a lot more space to work with. Yeah.
He does have 4 relics, like you mentioned earlier, and he's still got 1,000 gold in the bank. Now, docks coming out behind from Andy. Those are probably demo docks down there. That's a different control group.
That's so... And that's so clutch here. I think if you wait for, like... I mean, you're the demo expert here, but if you wait for multiple, so go for 4 or 5, just so 1 or 2 of them hit.
Yep.
But that's tough to control here, because we're seeing Heartt have the same issue. He's still producing from the upper docks and losing units nonstop.
They're just hitting select all dock, right? Yeah. Like, and then they're producing from weird situations and they're tossing units away, but it's hard to keep track when you're trying to do so many things. Hoardings comes in for Andy. That's a great tech. And here comes the Navy from the side. If only there were demos following up from behind, but it's actually galleons.
Man,
from Andy.
I have seen.
And now he switches it to demo. He realizes.
I have seen Hearttt lose so many ships to these upper docks, man. I just saw him lose another cannon galleon. It's just non-stop. I wish I had a stat that could tell me how many kills were just given to his opponent there. But, man, both players with cannon galleons hoping to take out castles. Now there's... Sorry, it's Dramans for Andy. The cannon galleons he has were the converted ones.
Oh, he's got two. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
He's got two of them.
Too.
Dude, the monks that are on his starting island have 10 conversions. 10.
I think Heartt's going to lose this game.
I think he is.
Somehow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
I would have given Andy like a 5% chance.
Yeah. I mean, he just kept hanging in, man. He just kept hanging in. Also, Andy's taking some of the wood on the outer area, which is really important to think about. I don't know if that's something that Hearttt will think about. And
he's got a fast fire around there.
Hearttt is going for crazy docks, though, and he's got a crazy queue. I actually think at this point you should remove all farmers, send them to wood, or even delete them, just to get a whole bunch of Navy on the field. No gold for Andy.
The key for these fights, obviously, if the demos connect, it's huge, right? And the demos are coming through right now. They could get some really great damage. Let's see. Boom,
oh my god, dude! Yikes!
Holy! I was about to say, if the demos don't hit, the key for this is the massive Dromans or cannon galleons behind, because that's the new meta in water combat. As soon as you get like 20 or 30 galleons, you got to have 4 or 5 cannon galleons or Dromans behind, providing that splash damage from range.
Andy has brought his monks and Vils, is building forward churches on this island. He's church rushing. He's also getting Feriders and getting infantry armor. We might see a warrior priest rush on Heartt's island here. But Andy, no gold income. The gold that he wants to take is controlled by Heartt's Navy.
There is some gold in the north of, or like northeast of the main island from Hearttt that Andy could maybe transport over and take.
Good engagement for Hearttt.
The water.
Really good engagement for Hearttt here on water. He'll snipe the cannon galleons that betrayed him. Oh my god, dude. That's
Round
insane.
2. There's so many. There's so many. Oh god.
Hearttt, it looked like he was trying to move his ships, but he just couldn't get out of there, and he loses everything, dude. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Dude.
That's the Armenians. That's the Armenians. I could kind of tell with the way Heartt's ships were moving. It felt like they were stuck. They couldn't pass through there. It's kind of a tough choke. And FreakinAndy has held on in a game where we both thought he was dead.
Yes,
has got it to the late game.
He was dead.
Yeah, and he's going to win this game. He has to.
Now he's going for towers, guard towers in the south of that island to keep the ships away. And the guard towers are going to go up as Hearttt attempts to transport 3 villagers, God knows where, over to Andy's island, I suppose. Hearttt still has resources available, but with Andy having a foothold over here, Hearttt is in trouble. Andy has to feel so good about the position he's gotten himself
Agreed.
into. Like, he was dead.
How annoyed
dead.
How annoyed are you right now with fortified churches if you're Hearttt? Andy's got like 20 of them on the map. He's got them everywhere.
Too.
Yeah,
they're so cheap. The fast fire has found the villagers in the north, but Andy figures that out. He's going to go for a tower over there, clear that up.
But
and still keep taking the wood.
That's crazy foresight for me. The fact that he's taking that wood there. That is not something that Heartt's doing, for example. Now, Hearttt, of course, has more access to wood on his island. He is also trebbing down the churches. Would be kind of funny to see Andy make a run for that relic, though. Hearttt hasn't gotten all his relics.
Yeah, I think it's a little harder for Hearttt to take that wood, too, because the lumber camp spots aren't as consistent. I don't know if you can, like, build in a lot of these areas.
Maybe. Well, Hearttt is got to be frustrated with this situation right now. Armenian Navy is ridiculous. He's behind in the galleon number now, and the Dramans are Dramaning down the docks, and they could get those ships as well if Hearttt clumps up there, which is super easy to happen.
Heated shot is already in for Andy for these towers.
Oh yeah, dude, he got it a long time ago. He got it for his castles. Like, Andy just feels, he seems like he's so much more comfortable in this type of situation.
Damn, dude. Hearttt is just slowly being pushed back on water.
Look at the warrior priest.
Can't fight the demos.
Almost fully upgraded warrior priest. Is he going to make a run for that relic and just assume that he can get the relic with one of them?
Hey, if you send 7 of them, odds are you're going to get one. I mean, those things have 125 HP. You might even be able to get it with just one guy.
I think he's trying to get the other relic.
Fervor's on the way
on the
in.
other side, too.
Yeah.
There's a castle there, which he didn't know about. Like, I'm just not... Like,
Damn,
Heartt's
bro.
producing vills, but he's not producing ships. And if you're not producing ships... I just don't know what really works for you here. This
is the Andy that is so tough to play against, and I've heard players talk about it before. It's like he doesn't make anything. He makes nothing until he's in, you know, middle of Castle Age with like a couple TCs, and then it's suddenly monks and siege and
You
everything.
gotta
And
kill
if
him.
you let him get there, you gotta kill him. Yeah,
Yep.
you gotta kill him early.
That's really impressive. Like, especially with how good Heartt's been playing and how inevitable Heartt has been.
He's going after the relic on Heartt's main island. He sees the monastery, he wants it. He wants it, bro.
He also seems to be way more comfortable with, like, these small movements, the transporting, the grindiness of these situations. He also has utilized mule carts way better than anyone I've seen in a long time. Look at him even micro the mule carts on the outside wood in the north. He's got mule carts everywhere, man.
Yep.
Heartt is just waiting.
I've seen Heartt play with mule carts too. Heartt's one of those players that like forgets he has the mule carts and just makes a new one every single time.
I'm the same. I'm the same.
Do something, yeah.
My mule carts are essentially lumber camps and mining camps for me. I just can't.
I double clicked once in the late game for Heartt, and I think he had like 35 mule carts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stupid.
Well, Andy's still making progress against the docks. He's still got warrior priests around raiding every now and then. He still has 4 relics. Heartt only has 1. Heartt is still mining a lot more gold, though, and still has lots of space, and he's going to go for light cav. There was a game in Gold League where someone used the light cav on the shoreline to distract the ships, but there wasn't heavy demos from Armenians involved there.
Yeah, Hussar tech is now in. Finally, the Genbos are on the main island or the home island from Andy, but it's too late, right? If these got here 20 minutes ago, it would have been a disaster. But now there's nothing happening there as Heartt. You can see the struggle for him. He went to the outside woodline on the right. That's the struggle with making the lumber camps there. Like, it's horrific.
Oh, God, those demos are so strong, dude. They are so strong. I mean, heavy demos already strong, but then with the Silesian fleet upgrade, that's just insane. Oh, it's been so patient from Andy, too, hasn't it? He could have just really chased down Heartt, but he understands that it's easy to throw in these situations, which arguably Heartt did.
Look at the lumber camps on the right. Lumber camps versus mule cart.
How good do you think Heartt's feel? Like, knowing Heartt, he's so pissed right now.
He's so mad. Yeah, he's
like,
really mad right now.
I would be too. I would hate to play this type of game. I'd hate to play a style like Andy. And if you're 5K score behind and you're building lumber camps on this terrain, this is just not a position that feels very good for him.
Yep.
He has done, like, he is getting his galleon number higher. That's what he's trying to do, is get his galleon mass up. He also still has the potential to transport. So he's got to transport with hussars. And he's going to aim to get somewhere with those. But
like, Andy's locked down so much of his eco. He's got fortified churches, he's got castles, he even has towers in the north.
More demos. And I mean, what are you supposed to do against that? There's always just enough firepower there from Andy. Holy. Man,
this is over.
It is. Yeah, I think so. I mean, maybe the hussars get through somewhere. I think we missed the transport going down somewhere. Andy's going to win this game. Absolutely. There's no way Heartt can come back. Heartt's wood eco is here. He's dropping towers now. But
he's dropping watchtowers.
Yeah.
No heated shot.
And Heartt still has more available res on his starting island. Like, Andy has taken pretty much everything from his starting island.
Right side.
Oh, God, the Bills. I missed it. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. There's more demos coming in now. Dude. There's more demos coming in now. And the watchtowers won't protect it. Heartt's hussar raids won't contribute. Heartt's dead, man. And he just doesn't want to accept it. More demos come in.
On the wood line. Oh, God, man. So many villagers dying. Demos everywhere. Heartt calls the GG. Well played by Andy. Incredible comeback. I would have given him, I said 5%, probably less than 5%
Look at the created units here for a second. 100 galleons is all Andy produced. Hearttt produced 125.
He saved them really well.
128 fires from Hearttt. Now, it is 84 demos from Andy. But, like, the value that Andy was able to get from his units in this game was incredible. He also had the worst economy. He had the more expensive techs because he's up against the Italians. The KD kind of tells the whole story. Hearttt, I think, is going to be regret, Dave, and we talked about it. The transport. Like, dropping the castle there underneath 2 castles and bringing 20 vills, I think was him thinking that there was no way he could throw the game. Turns out he could throw the game. I think he needed safe castles. I think you have to use your map control, play more of the long term.
You got to land on Andy's starting island with just a couple units.
Yep.
Like just distract him and then build up into galleons.
Ryan, it's got to be a slow crawl situation, and it wasn't. I'm gonna rewatch that demo now because I didn't see that one.
God, I saw it like 2 units coming out on the mini map, and I was thinking, oh, please be it, and it was.
Oh, man. And one demo did that as well. It killed every single
I love
vill.
how he was like bypassing it, and then Andy clearly noticed. He's like, oh,
yeah,
take a look at this one.
Yeah, but honestly, like, I know it's just like one demo, and it's a demo on vills, so maybe that's not something you credit the player with a lot, but how many people just patrol there and don't even notice it on screen? He got max value from that demo, had another demo coming. Yeah, beautiful play. And big ramifications in the group because the conversation's kind of been that Andy's going to lose this series and Andy's going to fight for relegation. Now he's at 4 wins and Heartt's at 5 wins with live standings. So sick play from Andy.
Viper's looking at this and thinking, yes, I like this.
Yeah, true.
Good job. Yeah.
But unless like Viper was thinking that he could leapfrog FreakinAndy in the standings. And so now, if Andy starts to pull some wins together, maybe Viper's further from the playoffs,
I mean,
too.
Let's be real. Dark's winning the group, dude.
You think so? Ooh. I don't know. I think...
Dark's had a crazy run so far. I don't know.
Well,
it's hard to discount it, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, we'll see. Let's talk about that after this, too, because if Hearttt just wins the next 2 games, I'm looking at that Hearttt Dark series, thinking whoever wins that wins the group. But what a game, dude. Like, Andy had no business winning that game. That was really well played. And now he's got Chinese
really, really sick
on Kilimanjaro for game number 2 as well.
Yep. And I think we know how Andy cooks. There's going to be a big old wall if he can wall himself into the corner. Yeah. And he is in the corner.
He is in the corner.
Margugu would hate this generation, dude.
Yeah. Margugu mentioned how corners are OP, and then he built his TC not in the corner with humans. He built it in the middle of the map on Jungle Swamp earlier. But, I mean, Margugu's point was, corner allows you to wall up a little bit easier. And any map, and if you have the corner, it helps you wall. And that's true.
Yeah, this map is amazing for Chinese.
Yeah.
You have the gold in the back, the stone in the back. We got multiple wood lines. You can wall easily across the middle. And the corner should be good. I mean, Heartt's not that far from the corner, and it's not a super difficult wall off for him either, if he wants to do that. But unfortunately for him, his gold and stone are both
everything's forward. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Now, Hearttt will know where his opponent is located, which is good. So the target's already acquired. But if we know Andy, and especially with the Chinese, when you have such an eco lead to protect, I would expect him to make use of this map and try and wall up. Now, I've seen games where people do that, and if they're too defensive and they make too little army, then they just never take this hill in the middle, dude. And that hill is going to be critical. It's so tough to build 2nd and 3rd town centers anywhere of value on this map. The best spot for those TCs are always up on that hill.
Yeah. Have you told your chat about the fence yet?
I did. I recorded a video about it, but I didn't see the meme that Reddit made about me. So I'm actually making a video where I talk about the fence, but not the fence. Dude, I didn't tell you this. Also, the canoe situation was also very frustrating. Okay.
Well, the canoe has been a unit that's been around for a while. Like, I've seen the canoe plenty of times. It's just a longboat, basically.
Well, I'm happy that you're a canoe expert, but hear me out, okay? So at that point, first off, my brain completely shut off, and I was completely exhausted early imp game 1. I'm like, okay, I'm dead. I'm just so tired. I'm so old. So there was that. But I was trying to get into the hyper-random mindset of checking how much is on each resource and being creative. So I checked my straggler trees. I clicked every single straggler tree. Saw it had 210 wood.
Yeah, so you don't make the lumber camp. You go for the dock.
Yeah.
First, and then
I saw the fish. And then I'm like, oh, it's a canoe. Canoes don't do damage. Canoes are canoes.
Andy's docking, by the way.
Yeah. Better than my dock. But yeah, and then obviously you saw the rest from there. It was a complete disaster.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, the fence was the funniest part of that. So, I mean, thank you for that because it makes more sense that you have a mod that makes fences look like.
I mean, the mod isn't that different though. I really should have known.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know what I'm talking about, I played in a tournament called Hyper Random and Dave casted it, and it can affect the maps can be wild, and it can affect HP and stats, everything. And so we all started with what I thought was palisade walls with palisade gates, but it was actually a fence with 1 HP and palisade gates. So I attacked. Go ahead.
So your wise streamer here goes for a men-at-arms push, right? And he gets to the fences, and he decides to attack the 250 HP or whatever it is palisade gate, which his opponent repairs and walls behind. There is a fence right beside said palisade gate with a wide open path into his opponent's eco. But he continues, and he does take out the fence. You really screwed up that that gate. Sorry, not the fence. You didn't take out the fence. You really messed up that gate, dude.
Well, so what's funny is my opponent didn't know it was 1 HP walls either. So both of us just didn't realize until I broke through. So I asked him later. He was like, I thought the game was bugged when you got through my walls. I couldn't believe it. So, and then he said he would have died if I broke through the fence right away, which made me feel great. So... But yeah, I mean, run from it all you want. You can't avoid the memes, unfortunately, for me.
It was funny, dude. It was funny.
It was good fun.
This is a wild map setup here for Andy. I don't even know if he's like going to end up really taking these berries. He's walling to the berries, and he's gone for the fishing chips behind.
So he did this against Daniel as well in the first round. Only his pond was on the front, and he wasn't Chinese. The fact that he is docking 2 shorefish is absolutely bonkers. Obviously, he wants to go fast Feudal, and then he wants to add fish traps.
Yeah.
Yet again, another situation where if I'm Hearttt, this is so far from the type of game you want. The first game, it turned into a game that was a nightmare for Hearttt. Now, he doesn't know what's happening, and by the time he gets to Andy's base, Andy's going to be full walled, and he's a Black Forest expert, probably fish booming.
Yeah, and this is an ideal map setup for this. He can go for another dock in the pond behind. Like, he could go for probably 3 docks there if he really wanted to. The problem for him is going to be, like, this berry patch forward, right? Like, at some point, the fish is not going to keep up with the food that is required to keep villagers producing. So you're going to have to go out to the berries or add farms, and there's just not enough wood.
I'm so curious on if Hearttt actually gets through here. Not that you can really change your approach that massively, but I don't know if it would hurt or help Hearttt to know about
Andy's got to wall this off. Yeah, don't let the scout in. Don't let the scout in. Heartt's going to see the scout here from Andy, and he backs away.
Yeah, he knows Andy will get some extra hits.
He might be able to see the fishing ships. No, he just misses it, dude. He just missed it.
So for some Kilimanjaro history here, in Gold League, in one of the previous seasons, we had a player named Samaro, everyone, who also loves his Black Forest. And he honestly is kind of like, he's the first player I've ever seen try and fish trap a pond like this. And he went for multiple docks. He went Malay, he went stone walls at one point. He
went like 25 fish.
25 fish, yeah. It was crazy. So shout out to Samaro for this. But these days... it's kind of a thing now. Like, Viper's always trying to squeeze in some fish. Everyone's trying to do it. But Hearttt is not one of those players. And Hearttt is thinking he needs to get some damage into the Chinese even without the potential of fish. But now, all the extra vills from Chinese are safe. He's got a fish boom. This is brutal for Hearttt. I don't really know what to suggest at the moment.
He doesn't have a fish boom yet, though. Like, he still has to add farms. Like I said, the food comes in so slow, dude. This is such a big investment. And it's like, it's a singular palisade wall protecting this eco from Heartt's army. I think it can be good in 5 minutes from now.
Yeah. Well, Hearttt got to his opponent's base, saw the walls, knows his opponent's going scouts. He'll go for archers now. It's a sign of a good player.
Wait, he thinks his opponent's going scouts. He hasn't actually made a scout
yet. True. True. And Andy actually wisely scouts the range, knows it will be an archer follow-up, and is now just adding a range to go for skirms. So I gotta give props to Andy because I thought he was super dead the first game, and he held on and came back and looked comfortable. And here, he's probably had, except for getting housed, he's probably had like the most optimal start. So, like the scouting there on the range is a pretty big deal. Not making your own scouts is actually kind of sneaky good too. He's just being greedy, man.
3 fishing traps already. He's still making ships, so he's going to get that dock completely surrounded. And the scouts are coming out now, so he just needed a moment there to kind of build up his eco, and Hearttt just comes in now as Andy is able to house wall behind this palisade, and now Heartt's going to be in a bit of a rough spot. Like, this eco is slowly angling big time in Andy's favor with the fishing traps. Now that he's been able to wall himself off and keep himself safe. A lack of aggression here from Hearttt, and Andy is fine.
Yeah, it's just tough if you're Hearttt, right? Because you don't want to like overproduce army into walls, but you also are against Chinese, and their eco is going to be super smooth. So it's really hard to know what to do. I really can't suggest much beyond trying to pressure the berries in the gate, and then trying to get to cav archers and castle age. You can still control the map. CA is still really good here, and we'll see. But
I think if you were really thinking about it, if you're Hearttt and you're looking at the score, it should tell you that he has fish. Because you knew where his scout was. Your scouting is decent. You've got more army on the field. Like, you haven't seen these buildings producing while you've been forward here. I think if you were really thinking about it, which he probably isn't right now.
Yeah, I mean,
you should know that there's some fish.
I would be surprised if that's on Heartt's mind, because like Chinese can have 100 score lead. You don't know how many military units are in the stable yet. But the thing is, even if you know, what do you do about it? You got to break in. And this would be the spot. He's really close to seeing it. He doesn't actually spot it yet. But Andy's got a lot of scouts and skirms. Like, he's just going to wait. He's going to hop out, get to the hill here, and try and surprise Hearttt.
Ooh, he finds the spearman and the archer, too. Hearttt deviates from the path. He's going to run away from that. He's going to try and collapse on these skirms, but here come the scouts.
Yeah. Andy's so good at this, right? He undermakes army. He gives you map control, and then right when you think you're good, then you end up being up against a pretty big force. But honestly, well played from Hearttt. He didn't lose a unit. He's backing up. His eco balance is very good to get to Castle Age here.
It's definitely going to click up first. There's the market from Andy.
I think in Castle, though, this whole fish boom falls apart if that area isn't stonewalled. So I know that it's like it's natural to just add houses there, but I would love to see that stonewalled, because I'd hate to see Andy lose that fish boom.
Is it just going to be crossbows, or is it going to be cav archers here from Hearttt?
Well, it feels like crossbow if he's got these archers. I guess it'll depend on how many archers stay alive. If he were to lose everything, I think then we see cav archer. But, oh man, Andy's skirms are there. Hearttt doesn't really have the
bloodlines
protection. Too. Wow, crazy army from Andy. I mean, he went from nothing to all this and all the upgrades in the book. But,
I mean, it's still going to be tough. Heartt's got a lot of archers here. Even if the spearmen die, I think Hearttt can manage to do quite a bit of damage here. But it's going to be tough, definitely. I mean, Andy, like you said, he's kind of under-investing into army early, getting the eco set up, and then just over-investing on the way up to Castle Age, right? Like, he's still doesn't even have enough resources to think about Castle Age right now. It's just all Feudal Age production.
Well, it's important he kills this right now. You got to kill these archers off. You don't want to be up against these when they're upgraded with Feudal units. So Heartt's micro has been really good here, dude. Another good example of it right there. Andy needs to pull the spears back. The skirms still need to chase. The spears get hits. Heartt's micro is absolutely insane here, dude. Like, how has he still not lost archers? I just cannot explain it.
Really, really solid. The scouts also alive. They're very weak, though. And the scouts are retreating. And the archers are pulling this army from Andy kind of out of position. But Andy has kept scouts in between him and Hearttt. So he's killing those additional archers that are coming out. He's tracking these ones. And now Heartt's only going to have 8 archers by the time he gets to Castle Age.
I see that a
Don't know
lot.
why he didn't kill that one.
I think he uses select all army hotkey a lot. And I think he just used select all army there and pulled that scout away. The positive for Andy about this, even though he didn't kill all the archers, it did force the army very far away from his base.
Yeah.
So it's given him a lot of time, and he's got 2 minutes till he's up yet.
TC on the left for Heartt. Can it be denied? The scouts are really weak.
That could still be a villager kill, though. That could still be really annoying here for Heartt.
Yeah, the skirms are coming, too.
Oh, man, that's really frustrating. That'll be multiple vills dead. Multiple. I think 3. We'll see. The scouts will get some good damage.
Armor and Bloodlines is in.
Yep, and the skirms.
There's another one. Oh, and the TC's delayed. That's so brutal. I mean, Heartt knows he's behind an eco because he's against Chinese. And he went up to Castle Age first. So he needs to get that TC up and producing villagers. And the TC has been delayed. It's been delayed by weak scouts and a few skirms.
And Dave, we've got crossbow coming in. There's more skirms in production from Andy behind this. He's waiting. He layered with houses. He did stonewall some of
Heartt
it.
sees it. He sees the fish boom.
Heartt knows now, and Andy's going to drop a tower. Oh, man. Should have stonewalled that area, though. The other area in the north is fine.
Palisade is okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once the tower's up,
okay.
this is his BF experience. He picked the perfect position for the tower where he could complete this without losing anything.
Skirms just all died to a single knight without fighting back.
Oh, on the other side. Yeah, in the back. Yeah, makes sense. So now Heartt's like, crap. Like, now he's got a fish boom. I definitely don't have that. I also lost vills. He didn't lose any. But there is this tendency for Mandy to be very late to the army, right? So, like, he has the eco lead, but he doesn't quite have the army together. Oh, and he didn't stonewall that one area here.
He's trying.
Oh,
he got
man.
some hits off. He got some hits off, but they're very, very weak. And Heartt's thinking about coming in. And Andy, like, this is the one area where he really needs to commit to defense. If he loses that fish boom, suddenly his advantage is gone.
Oh, man. Andy's going to be so frustrated with himself. And Heartt's going to be loving life again because he's on 2 TCs. He's got full map control. He's heading to the middle. And he'll know that with Andy dropping the tower, that TCs are probably delayed and the eco could be much closer now.
There is a second TC, though, to the south from Andy.
Sneaky. Super sneaky. That's a
really
good spot,
nice.
too, because that's where the other gold is for him.
+2 armor is in from Andy.
Yeah.
So Heartt's got to be careful. +2 armor could be brutal here.
Snipe the fish and get out. Just snipe the fish.
Snipe the traps. Leave the ships. Snipe the traps.
Yeah, whatever you can hit. The traps can't be moved, right? I think
they're also weaker and they cost more. So...
Man, imagine if Andy never had to bring his army back into his base like this. Like, with 2 stone walls, he's actually contesting for the middle right now. Nice
and
shot
that second
from Heartt.
TC might even go up in the middle, which would be insane, right? But instead, he's being pushed. He has managed to trap the knights in, though, and those knights don't really have any upgrades from Heartt. 0 upgrades, so his +2 knights are easily going to clear those, and Heartt needs to back up with the crossbows. And I think Heartt saw the +2 armor, so Heartt's got to be really respectful of how he engages with these crossbows, because those knights could completely clear that.
I like the fact that Heartt's transitioning to cav archers now. You need mobility. It will still be weird, though, against skirms as well. It's not going to be easy. But Vietnamese, 3 TCs, eco upgrades are cheaper, faster researching. Your archers have more HP. Heartt, he needs army control now. And then he needs the hill. He debated. There was a moment where he actually had placed the 3rd TC foundation in the middle. I think he could have completed it, but then he'd be under pressure there.
I think that's really brutal, though, with +2 knights. Yeah. That's a big risk.
Agreed. Yeah.
Especially with elite skirm as well from Andy. Like, knight elite skirm is tough.
There's a lot of armies to
he's
control.
Losing cav archers.
Heartt losing. Was that 4 cav archers there?
That was 3. That was 3 cav archers going down. Maybe a 4th one here.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is well played from Andy. Super smooth eco behind as well. 3 TCs. Heartt is losing control. What is happening, Dave? I had Heartt learning this like 2-1, 3-0 today.
Yep.
What is happening here? FreakinAndy has come to play. Every decision's been super smooth.
Maybe just stylistically, not a good matchup for Heartt, right? things that he doesn't expect are happening here. And Andy, with +2 knights, is going to be able to clear up these crossbows, I believe. Good micro from Hearttt, but you can only do so much. He's losing another cav archer, and suddenly Heartt's got 6 military. So, like, for the second time this game, we've seen Andy underproduce early.
And then go crazy.
Just swarm later, yeah.
Wow. We have a pause here.
Hearttt not here? Oh, it was Andy. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, I mean, normally you're not expecting Hearttt to lose units. So there was a part of me that thought maybe Hearttt disconnected or something. But I think there's too many things going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Hearttt now...
And the knights can raid.
He's got to go full army. Yeah. Hey, I think he needs his own knights right now. You need your own knights because the skirms are a problem. And then you need your cav archers to somehow take out the opponent's knights. But, I mean, good luck. If I know Andy, he'll send more vills to stone right now. And he'll think about a castle in the middle of the map to lock that area down.
I mean, he might TC it first and then a castle.
Yeah.
Could be a good play as well.
He went... There was a crazy game between Daniel and Andy on this map where they both had castles in the middle at different points in the game. And I think Andy went up to like 8 TCs. Yep. He just had TCs all over this map. And he really utilized the sides as well. There's lots of extra gold on the sides and people forget about that.
More villagers going down, I think, from Hearttt. Yep, Andy snipes that. He's got ballistics on the skirmishers.
This is crazy.
He's still got 11 knights behind this. Trying to take out that mangonel. Maybe definitely an overextension to try and take out that
If he gets it, though, that's a lot of vills repairing, but it's not enough. And so just another couple moments here where Hearttt can't breathe. He can't move out. Oh, Dave, there's knights in the back as well from Andy.
Oh, God.
I mean, there's not a lot of resources back there, but there are villagers back there. Heartt's cav archers will snipe the knight. He does have skirm separated from knights, and this is where you start to see the difference between Andy and an Arabia player. Arabia player's never going to toss away these skirms. They're always going to keep their army together. And Andy shifting to siege. More knights, more skirms collecting. And 4 TCs in the south. 4 TC
on the stone. And getting the stone mining upgrade. So definitely considering a castle. That siege workshop is going to help to control this middle area. But once again, it's swung back in Heartt's favor in terms of army control. Andy still has a decent amount of units. But Hearttt really, really prioritizing getting the siege, the knights, and the cav archers out.
Vietnamese CA are no joke. 80 HP. So the +2 knights were doing great against crossbows and great against low numbers of CA. But Heartt's comp is definitely easier to move around the map right now. And I think it gets stronger. I think full heavy CA from Vietnamese makes things complicated for Chinese.
Heartt's macro behind this has been really solid.
Agreed.
To stay at 89 villagers versus 94 from Andy, super solid with all that pressure coming in. The knights are still in the back here, but Hearttt recognizes that immediately. He's going to pull them back to the TC and probably kill those.
I'd like to... never mind. Andy's already ahead of it. Look at the outposting from Andy in the south. If he can also expand outpost to the north, he'll know anytime Hearttt moves out here and be able to react properly. This is really smooth. Andy's playing so good. So good. This is Heartt's home map here.
Yep. 37 on food for him. Super solid. He's got 10 more on food than Hearttt does.
Oh, man.
Handcart coming in before the Vietnamese player gets it. That's a good sign. And Hearttt goes for the castle in the north. Andy might be able to see that with this outpost coming up. He doesn't, but he's making another one, so that might let him know that there's stuff going on up here. If he shifts his knights right now, he could potentially deny it.
Yeah, if he goes right now, I think he's grouped up all of his units together.
Couldn't see it.
Again, with select all army. Some players use that, some players don't. That's good from Hearttt. If he doesn't make that move, this game is an eternal struggle. But now, if you get that an area of the hill, you could always pass over to Andy's main eco. And you can...
It's like as soon as you see these castles from either player, that's the sign to just go up to him.
Yeah.
Just go. So they haven't seen it yet. Like, Hearttt hasn't seen the one from Andy. Andy just saw the foundation from Hearttt.
So he knows. Yeah.
And he's going up. Yeah.
He's got very little on gold right now, I'm noticing. He ran out of all the safe golds in the back. And he isn't really building his castle with a lot, honestly. And he doesn't see Heartt's army at all. He must be like, where is Heartt's army at? Heartt's army is coming to town, dude. Heartt's army could catch these vills. And there's still only Palisade gates there. Oh,
and
man.
good quick walls from Hearttt at his own base, too. He stopped the Knights initially. They're going right under the TC. This could be problematic here. But Hearttt is coming towards the middle with his Cav Archers right into the skirmishers. He clicked them back. He will see that castle. No, he doesn't see it.
Yeah,
so he can't deny it.
He can't deny it. And he's got a lot to look at right now. And Andy, with some crazy raids, I was laughing because he didn't really hesitate there. And again, a lot of people don't want to lose their army mass. But Andy would just send it. And he's splitting up the Knights. Heartt's Cav Archers have to run home now. And Heartt's Mangonels are unprotected. So Heartt's Siege gets sniped in the middle as well.
The quick walls were amazing from Hearttt early to stop the Knights. And then he went for that TC, and he should have left it unbuilt.
Yeah, honestly.
He should have left it as a foundation. Right under the TC from Andy, and Hearttt is down, what, 20 villagers in the last, like, 30 seconds?
And the idle time's ridiculous. And now the Cav Archers are home. They are not able to stop a second castle from Andy. If Andy wants to Treb War this, he's got a pretty good opportunity to build a castle where his skirmishers are now to set himself up for that.
Built 26 Cav Archers here from Hearttt. Andy is going to be about 15 seconds faster to the Imperial Age. Andy will be able to see this gold mine and maybe snipe some villagers over there. Losing the Knights wasn't the biggest deal for Andy. It's definitely a worthwhile trade because I don't think you want to go into Cavalier anyway immediately with Chinese. You probably want to play range early with your Trebs.
Really surprised now to see Andy drop this castle foundation. I mean, maybe he doesn't know Heartt's imp situation, but
definitely doesn't know that army is there. He does.
Yeah, the outpost save him.
Force him to a more reasonable castle in the middle.
I mean, he's still not making a lot of skirms, so I think Heartt's comp could be good. Hearttt doesn't have a lot of gold income, though, which maybe explains Andy's castle. Andy might want to control that gold from Hearttt and think that if he pushes Hearttt out of the middle with Trebs, Hearttt won't have the gold to make more CA.
Cav Archer's not in a great spot with the skirms ranging them.
Yeah, Heartt's got 0 on gold, Dave. 0 on gold. The only gold income he could have is in the middle right now. He doesn't have any gold in his corner. He needs to outpost around. He'll find some in the north right now.
Damn, dude. Time for paper money, I guess.
Yeah, does that cost gold? I don't even know. No, it's wood and food to get that. Okay.
Wood and food, yeah.
Couple random Knights from Andy into the back of Heartt's eco. Again, it must be so frustrating to be Hearttt right now. And his Cav Archers are kind of stuck in the south, running away from skirms. And Andy is making Trebs from both of these castles. He's getting Cavalier. He's getting skirm upgrades. He's got the superior eco, and it's not even close. 30 villager lead for him, and access to more stone and gold.
Didn't have the resources. He didn't have the gold to go for Trebs right away. So he can't even Treb War this castle. Andy is going to have 2 Trebs out really, really quick. And the question now for me is, like, how does Hearttt even stop this? He can go for like 1 bombard cannon once he gets chemistry, which also costs gold, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just
it clearly
really, really brutal for him.
Bombard cannons was his plan because there's no other reason to go double siege workshop. The crazy thing for me is Andy's clearly gearing up for a big Treb push, but he's being patient. He hasn't moved out yet. So I'm uncertain where will Andy build his next castle? Where will Andy move with his Trebs? He sees a castle from Hearttt, though, and that castle's not going up.
Nope.
Villagers also going down for Andy, though.
Yeah, Andy's losing villas. The Treb kind of went for it in a weird position, and Hearttt calls the GG because that castle won't go up. And wow, what a game for Andy. He's up 2-0 over Hearttt. That is not what I had on my bingo card coming into today.
Agreed. There's something about Titans League and FreakinAndy, because Titans League Season 3 was his big performance. He beat Hera in the first round. Everyone was losing their minds. I think he was top 8 there. He's just found a way so far this series. Well, game 1 to hold on and come back. And then this game, he plays greedy and goes for eco. And then right when he's about to be punished, takes map control, which we saw it in Feudal. We then saw it in Castle as well. He also seems really comfortable, man. Like, also, you don't really think of Andy being that fast, but how many times did he have 3 or 4 different groups of Knights in the back of Heartt's base and was microing it perfectly? It's just so well played. And now we will go to Andy's home map, Shoals, which is not a great map for Hearttt. And maybe Hearttt gets swept.
I mean, it would have big implications for the group if he did, I think.
Yeah, will Viper be happy about that, or will Viper be upset to see Hearttt getting...
I think Viper would be happy that someone ahead of him
Yeah.
got swept.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And if Andy sweeps here, I mean, Dark's winning. Dark's gonna win the group, dude. So we got Malay for Andy. We have Dravidians for Hearttt. And welcome into Shoals, everybody. No one's in a corner here. Although I'm sure Andy will attempt to wall to that. Both sides, the gold, obviously, equal distance away. Fantastic. And the towers actually have a pretty good setup for both of them. They both have deep fish, at least 2, underneath their sea towers. So
yeah,
nice map.
So last time Andy played this, he had the perfect build-up, but it didn't work because he was up against someone who is crazy enough to try forward villager, forward man-at-arms, supplies, sneak villager, archers. That? Daniel, of course. Dude, Daniel has played 2 Shoals games, and he has snuck a vill every time. He is no chill. And when he gets a position where he could just simply outboom his opponent, he's like, let's not do that. Let's just get more military on the field and try and kill more.
Dude, Daniel is such a paradox because you talk to the guy and he absolutely overthinks everything.
Yeah.
He thinks about stuff so hard. Like, he takes it 300 steps further than you need to.
Agreed.
But then as soon as he's in the game and he panics a little bit, it's like the brain just kind of flips and it shuts off completely. Or it goes into overdrive or something, and then he starts doing stuff that's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, I think especially when the results aren't there at the start and something like this, that's where you see an even more extreme version of Daniel. Because he always feels like he has to do more damage than he does. And then you combine that with needing wins now, and I think we're just going to see Daniel... Like, he's going to be a really annoying player to play against. And honestly, Viper right now, his weakest point is early feudal, early castle, start of a series. That's when Daniel's sending it. So if there's ever a time for Daniel to snag some wins off Viper... Maybe that'll happen later on, but yeah, we've got the sea tower here, and what are you expecting?
What do you think about docking away from the sea tower for both of these guys?
I think if you're going fast feudal, it's actually the best play.
It's fine, yeah. If you're going water, yeah. If you're not going water, then you got to dock near it, probably, or like early water anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, well, coming into this, I thought everyone would just fast castle. But we've seen more and more fast feudals here. So with the dock positions, I would expect fast feudal and then second dock next to the sea tower. So
there's a lot more deep fish on this version than there used to be, isn't there?
Well, the OG version was Empire Wars for one of the Red Bulls, and that was only short fish. But I think it was season 2 of TTL we had this, and it was the same exact script, except for like relic balancing. And near the end, everyone just went fast castle. So the amount of fast feudals we're seeing is kind of interesting to me. But we might not. I mean, the dock indicates that that's going to be the case.
I mean, if I saw that dock and I also saw the tower and how far away it was and I scouted my opponent, I'd be like, okay, they're going feudal water.
Yeah, agreed.
Because it doesn't make sense.
And
it's not like a shorter walking distance or anything.
Dude, but do you remember, I mean, there's just these small things with builds that we think of and annoy us, especially on maps where there's not a ton else to talk about. And there was a point in Shoals where people didn't do this if they were going fast feudal. So they would build their first dock next to the sea tower. They would take their safe fish, and then they're in feudal. And then their fish are all exposed. They have no
safe fish. Exactly.
Yeah, like,
I used to get so mad watching that.
We would just rant about that. So I'm glad that that's not happening anymore. I think people have kind of figured out the tiny details. So, but there they go. At least there goes Hearttt, but Andy will go up, and Malay just
Andy's
so
gonna be a lot
fast.
faster.
Yep.
So quick.
Oh, dude. Andy's chasing Hearttt Scout right now. Dude, I'm so frustrated if I'm Hearttt right now. Like, are you kidding me? Like, Malay players chasing me with this Scout? You're never going to beat him to feudal. You have to try and get to your sea tower as fast as possible. And he might be able to survive, maybe. I mean, Andy's going to get, what, 2 more hits on the way back? Hearttt actually decides to fight. I think he won't. Oh.
Andy's like, hang on a second. I'm almost feudal.
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep chasing this.
Heartt's wondering, should he go through the middle? Could you pull a fishing ship and block the opponent's scout right now?
It might be a little bit too late, but Hearttt is sending a fish. He's sending one. This might be going to block.
I think it is.
It might be going to
block. I think the sea tower is enough, though. This could be good for Hearttt.
I think he's waiting for it to get within range, and then he's going to try and block it. Oh, Andy loses it. Oh, my God, dude.
Dude, Hearttt. I mean, he needed something. He needed some good fortune, some luck. And the scout goes down for Andy, and Hearttt scout survives to tell the story. Man, someone get that scout a monk.
Also, like, Andy gets to feudal age, and he can afford 1 galley.
Yeah, true.
So that was a case of the Malay actually going up too fast.
I agree. Yeah. Now, do you know... I feel like I should know this, but I keep second-guessing myself. Do you know if the resources collected in capture age factors in the extra wood that Dravidians get?
I think it does.
Okay.
Because I think it does it for the Lithuanians as well, right? I mean, there's an easy way to... I can just go back in time. I'll let you know.
Okay. Because I don't know if it does with the Lithuanians either, because I'm pretty sure it starts at 0 res collected even though you start with the extra 100 food.
Okay, so he was at... We'll figure it out in 10 seconds here. I'll catch up to you eventually.
Okay, that's fine. It's just a galley war here.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Okay.
It doesn't. No.
Well, that makes a little bit of sense then, because Heartt's like 200 res behind, and I would expect it to be closer, so... Well, you're able to afford the 3 docks with the Dravidians because of that extra wood, but also the population space you get from the docks, so... First time I've seen 3 dock galleys, but big galley commitment here from Hearttt.
And Andy's build was just not there. Maybe he was distracted by the scouts, but he only had 1 galley coming out, and he was in feudal age 40 seconds faster. So even with the faster uptime, he is going to fall behind in ships, and now he's taking the fish right near his sea tower with 5 fishing ships. That's not going to last for very long. It only has 4 food left on it, and Hearttt is finding the Navy. So Andy is definitely on the back foot here early on his home map. So this is a good start for Hearttt, considering what happened in the previous 2 games. Yeah,
I mean, you need to get this win if you're Hearttt. If you snag 1 win, I'm sure he'll be frustrated still because he has a lot of confidence in himself. But standings-wise, you've got 6 wins out of potential 9 after 3 rounds, and you've already played Viper. Like, that would have been a dream scenario for you at the start of this. But we've seen Andy just hang around, and when you have the sea tower... It's impossible to take anyone fully off of water in this age. And it's the Malay. So there's definitely going to be potential here for Andy long term. And that's what this map is about. You cannot kill quickly. Usually it's booming. TC's on the golds. Scouting for that. Obviously so important, which is why it's such a big deal that Hearttt was able to save his scout.
And he has a decent amount of ships. Might lose 1 here. But he's still got 7 ships, even with only 2 dock production. And we've got 10 here from Hearttt. So Heartt's going pretty hard here on the water production. He's even adding in another fishing ship, so he feels fairly comfortable.
Did you watch the Margugu Yo series?
I saw the last game on Shoals there.
Yeah, so I feel like Yo did a really sick job there. Like, he lost the water, right? But he held on to it long enough where Margugu couldn't benefit from winning it. Because the only benefit from winning it in the mid-game is fishing. And so Margugu spent all this time getting more upgrades and adding more Navy to win and take out the sea tower, which killed 7 units, by the way. And then by the time he won water, it was Yo already had map control elsewhere. So I think that's something to keep in mind here. Winning water, even though they both invested into it, it's not as important as the other aspects of the map.
Just dancing around with the galleys. 3 kills for Hearttt. One of those was the scout. So he's killed, what, 2 fishing ships? And there's the first galley going down. So good micro from both so far. Andy only lost 1 galley.
And res balanced out pretty evenly for both. The Malay obviously have the benefit, though, of advancing faster. And Andy's even going to repair.
He's going to try to repair. This is going to take a long time.
Dude, I saw someone repairing a turtle ship the other day on this map. And it was at 3 HP. I'm not even kidding you. It took so long.
Dude, that's like a generational thing. Like you, your son, your grandson.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like, you ever go to like an ancient cathedral and they're like, multiple generations of the same family built this, you know. Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like. Well,
okay, Castle Age on the way for both. It's faster for Andy.
And Hearttt will get the additional wood. I personally would love to see Hearttt make a monastery early and heal up that scout. But he may just use the scout. It might not be worth the investment. We added the 7th relic as a neutral on the water now, if you didn't notice that. So that's fixed.
I did, yeah.
Which looks pretty nice.
You need more rocks to hide demos behind.
I think I told you this, but T West, he said that we should add outlines behind the rocks so you can't hide stuff. And I said...
What?
Hold on. I said that if I were to do that, you might not be friends with me anymore. So I said to keep the friendship alive. For this season...
Why would he ever think that was a good idea?
Calm down, all right? I'm saying...
not mad at you. Like, how could he ever think that was a good idea?
Well, I mean, maybe he had a bad moment with the demo. I don't know. But we kept the no outline behind the rock. So we still...
I'm about to have a bad moment with T West.
We still have the potential of a demo behind the rock moment, which you've been waiting for a long time on this map.
Longest time, dude. Absolutely the longest time. Anyway, the galley nibbling continues here. As both of them just try and get some good trades. So far, it's been advantage Heartt. War galley is in, making these less nimble than before for Andy, but more powerful.
Yeah, and I mean, Andy's got some weak ships here, but he has the upgrades faster. And he's also hoping to rush the ballistics upgrade right now. But Heartt's dropping for the TC. And so, similar to what we just talked about, Andy really investing into the water. And Heartt will continue to do so. But priority number 1 is that eco, which I like.
Bunch of weak ships there for Andy.
Oh my god.
This one should go down.
Andy doesn't have Botkin.
No, he does not.
He doesn't
have enough food for it.
He doesn't have Bosal either. His eco is really not set up like Heartt's then.
I think the fishing ships have really benefited Heartt.
Yeah, with Dravidians.
Like Andy lost those earlier. Yeah, Dravidian fishing ships, and I think that's the food that's powering the villager production and the techs coming in as well for Heartt. And good micro here from Heartt with the war galleys, which are ungainly. Like they are really, really tough to move around.
Yeah, and this is now where the sea tower doesn't have the range either. And Heartt might be behind with ballistics, but he's got the other upgrades. And I'm really liking his position right now. Water fight will continue. We'll see what happens, but it's all about that gold, man. TC on the right side is so helpful for his eco at the moment.
Like just look at Andy's eco. Look at the TC.
Yeah.
The berries are gone now. There's no food eco going on over here.
Yeah, and Heartt's got horse collar already and is adding farms. This is super smooth. So they're both invested so much on the water. I expect them to both continue to do this.
Still no Bodkin.
It should only benefit Heartt from here. And yeah, Andy probably assumes he has the upgrade right now. I think he would probably try and buy. He's out of gold, by the way. Soon he's got 2 more tiles of gold, and that's it. And he's still sinking more and more gold into Navy here. He'll be out. He will not have relics. He doesn't have farms. This is a horrible position for Andy right now.
He's got nothing. He's got absolutely nothing. To be fair, he was in a horrible position in game 1, but this one is somehow even worse, right?
Yeah, he could at least
saving grace here for him.
He could at least like get relics and move mule carts around and had a better late game to think about. A nice micro there from Andy. Heartt not realizing that Andy was using the runners. And 5 villager lead right now for Heartt, which isn't significant.
What if Heartt realizes Andy doesn't have Bodkin? Probably not.
Yeah, you're probably not thinking about it. I want to see, I think the scout just died somewhere. I heard it attack, but I'm not sure where it died. But I want to see Heartt be active in the north right now. It's kind of wild. Andy, if he makes a run for any of these sides, he's probably going to come to the south, but he doesn't know that Heartt's already there. But I think outposting is key to know if villagers are coming out.
Andy has 8 on food now. 50 villagers versus 54. Here from Heartt. I mean, Heartt is caught up now on the melee advantage with the uptimes, right? Andy should have been, what, 3-4 villagers ahead just from that. And there's been a lot of idle TC time because he can't keep his TCs running. He doesn't have the food eco for
Only thing I'll say is melee have that tendency to still be able to come back with the timings, right? Like a faster imp could be such a difference maker, but for imp you do need gold. And Andy is sinking more and more golds into this water fight without
100%
Bodkin.
doesn't realize he doesn't realize he doesn't have Bodkin.
Yep.
If Hearttt knew that Andy didn't have Bodkin, he'd just straight up take this fight.
Yeah, well, he has ballistics
He's
now.
waiting for ballistics to come in. Weak ships are the ones distracting in the front, and he's gonna push this back. Andy now going for Bodkin finally, but even if you win this water, it's not really the greatest situation for you at the moment. I think you should just be maybe making the odd fire and trying to snipe the fish on the sides.
I've been wanting to scream this for the last 10 minutes. Just stop making ships. It's okay. Yeah. The problem is they both open with this, so neither player wants to give up control. It's like the big water fights we saw on Grapple in the early rounds in Wandering Warriors Cup, where there's no fish. At least here there's fish. But Andy's got to get a TC up on gold as priority number 1 here. He's just going to run out. He's going to run right into Hearttt, and he's going to be stuck. That's my prediction here. We've got a Siege Workshop from Hearttt on the one side. He will have full vision on all that. And then he's got an outpost on the other side. So
yeah, Andy can see that outpost too, so he doesn't want to come forward over there.
Yeah.
He's going to have to come forward on the other side, which he has no vision over.
It's just such a silly game. I think it's not a game that has been strategically perfect from either. But
it plays into Heartt's hand.
But yeah, it exactly
plays into Heartt's hand.
Yeah, it's perfect for Hearttt. And
a little Mr. Yo push here from Hearttt. Decent economy behind 3 TC and the forward siege.
Yep. And now your opponent needs
Mangonel and a monk.
Yep. Yeah. Now your opponent doesn't have gold, so they have to now spend gold to defend from your push. It's perfect. Andy really wanted that water control here.
He's looking for the fish on the side. He's looking to cut off the Navy. No, he's just coming right back to the middle. And guess what? He's making more ships.
Unfortunately, I think it has reached a point where, if you've committed your whole life to this, you don't want to question whether or not this was a wise move,
Is that like you with your streaming career?
No. I was going to make a weird parallel to, other things, but I probably shouldn't.
It sounded a little deep, dude.
I'm just no one at 75 years old wants to look back and say, maybe my way of life has been wrong, right? If anything, they're just going to make another war galley. And that's Andy right now. He's about to run out of golds, and he refuses to accept that maybe war galley with no gold access is not a play.
Look at Hearttt waiting until he has 2 Mangonels to push that.
I like it.
It's kind of sick. Yeah.
I mean, Hearttt probably can't believe it right now.
Oh,
right?
Get a good attack round on the gold. Just get one. Just a nice little juicer right there. Oh. Should have attack rounded the second gold tile. You would have got 7 vills. And he spotted that really quick.
All right, so of the 500 gold that Andy has available there, it is now being denied by the Mangonel. He is dropping a TC, so he's going to the other side. And
he's making more ships.
Hearttt can see that, so Heartt's just going to make another Siege Workshop to pressure that. So, it's... those community games where, the one guy's got 100 trade carts and 500 bombard towers? And you just know the game might go on for a while longer, but no one's going to kill that guy because he's just hoarding everything. It kind of has that feel. The Heartt's just I literally can't lose.
And then that guy tosses his king into the castle of the opponent, and then he dies.
Well, what happens is if that guy wins, it never goes to YouTube. But if that guy loses, everybody loses their minds.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be that guy.
Unfortunately, if you're too good, it's not exciting for people. So, yeah, Andy, a little uninspired.
The fish are gonna die. Andy's taking out the fish.
Woo!
Oh, huge!
Let's go.
Massive. The fish finally go down. Unfortunately, Hearttt does have 3 TCs behind this and control over both the gold areas.
Yeah. I mean, Andy could sell at the market, and I'm sure he will to get some gold. If he starts to get an engagement like that, maybe he could just make a run for it. I think if he's going to go anywhere, he's probably going to go castle the left side. But there is siege over there as well that he's got to contend with.
Heartt's got enough stone. He could go castle. He could castle both sides, honestly.
Yeah, I would say any side at this point is probably acceptable. On one hand, you could castle the left because you don't have anything over there. But I wouldn't mind a castle on the right just to secure that. And then your army can focus on the left.
There's the forward castle. from Hearttt. Andy, I mean, he's going to struggle for gold to click up to Imp if he wants to trap this stuff down. He's going for a castle now on the left side. There's a mangonel there, though. Hearttt can see the villagers coming forward. The deer is kind of blocking the foundation. He's not paying attention. He could have denied that.
Hearttt is losing his siege to villagers right now, which is not what I would have expected.
This is 2 separate mangonels. There's a scorpion in the siege workshop, too.
Yeah. I mean, Andy's going to get gold somehow because the Vills are doing their thing. Hearttt is going to castle the right side, though. Hearttt is still pressuring the TC, and Hearttt is on the way to Imp. And massive Navy engagement in the middle. And I think all Hearttt should do is just keep making more ships because he has the gold to actually fund it. He will be completely fine with this. And now I'm okay with pressuring on the right, but I would like to see some barracks, archer ranges, and build up army on the left to just try and take Andy off of that gold. That's got to be key in your early Imp. The right side castle does its job for now, but the left side you've got to deny. And you can win water still.
He's still making ships, dude. He has 0 on gold. He's still making ships.
It's so wild.
We get that shout now?
Oh. Okay, he's about to have access to gold. Yeah, he just... I think it's a situation where Andy will look back and rethink. But... I just, for now, I guess it's the only area he has any type of chance of having control, so it's the only thing that makes sense for him, I guess. Painful. This is huge for Hearttt, though. I can't wait to look at the results in the group. This makes the group way more interesting at the top than I would have expected.
Yeah.
Also makes this thing significantly more difficult for Daniel and Valis to have chances.
3 ranges here from Hearttt. Okay, what's he switch into? Does he go into Arbalists? Does he go Skirms? Does he go Elephant Archers? Doesn't have the food eco for Elephant Archers.
Yeah, probably maybe just Skirm Treb to start. Like against the Malay, you're never concerned they're going to go for Knights or anything.
Andy denies the castle from Hearttt over on the left. Very late for that castle over on that side.
Yeah.
From Hearttt. Like he had control over there for a long time. He had enough stone for 2 castles.
The archer ranges that are forward, not that I'm a pro with this, but like I really think the archer ranges needed to be at home. You build the archer ranges at home, you make a little bit of army, and then you can protect your vills to go build that castle.
Dude, uncharacteristic losses from Hearttt as well throughout this entire set. Like he just lost 2 mangonels there, his monk and an Arumi to 1 mangonel. Well, from Andy. And I know he's busy, but like usually we're expecting a better attention to detail from Hearttt overall.
Agreed. I mean, sometimes we get used to such consistency, and just sometimes you're not all there. Sometimes you're forward tread pushing with Incas against Khmer when you're 300 elo and 15 years older than the player, and then other times you're attacking a fence. Or sorry, you're attacking a gate when there's a fence there on 1 HP. You know. Sometimes you've been there. Sometimes you're there. Sometimes your brain is functioning, and then other times you're just blah.
Sometimes you just get canoed.
Sometimes you get canoed, yep. Is Andy... There's no way...
That's how it works.
Bro, there's no way Andy wins this game, though, right? Like, this is still...
That's what we said the first one. That's what we said. He's a minute and 50 seconds away from Imperial Age. He still somehow has water presence.
Yeah.
He stopped making ships, at least, but Hearttt is adding some more. Feels like Hearttt can lock this down. I really hate the position of those archer ranges. I really don't like the fact he didn't go for a castle on the left side earlier. It's just a bunch of weird things from Hearttt.
Andy has survived worse, maybe, right? And now Heartt's going for Galleon, so I don't know who's committing more to water here. I just kept expecting Hearttt to use the gold to win the left side, and now Andy's going to have 2 castles over there. Now Andy still doesn't
into the farms though.
Yeah, he still doesn't have an answer to that.
Get back to the wood line. This is brutal, dude. There's 56 villagers on wood over there.
Yeah, and no mule carts this time. Tiny detail, but that Karambit warrior from Andy, he actually microed against the castle to escape with it. It just went down. But he's been doing what he can.
What does Andy do? What does Andy do over here? What can he do? He goes for a singular watchtower with those villagers.
All right.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, you have enough vills to throw away. It's not like he's only at 80. And it will do the job that you're requiring it to do. Now, there's bombard cannons and crossbows from Hearttt wiping up the rest of the eco, though. So the siege workshops non-stop producing siege. The TC's gone down. The university will go down. And Hearttt is winning water now. And Andy finally taps. And it was a weird ending here. I think both players will probably look back and say maybe a couple things could be tweaked. But Hearttt had the priority on the golds. And he certainly spent the gold and gets the job done. So, not the series that people would have predicted. I predicted 2-1 for Hearttt, but Andy gets some critical wins. But man, that was
just it all spiraled. It was just too fast up to Feudal for Andy. Maybe needed to add another villager. And then he actually has comparable galley production, so he doesn't just lose his fish immediately.
I'm telling you, there's something to be said here for you get up to like 8 to 10 galleys and you just park your freaking galleys under your tower and you just stop, like hope the opponent mindlessly produces navy and then you prioritize the rest of the land. So you don't give up water and you just boom. That's kind of what Yo did. Now Yo took some losses, but like I saw a sea tower kill 7 war galleys in Castle Age. That sea tower is not going down. But yeah, that was a weird one on an otherwise great series. The first 2 games were a lot more action packed than that.
First game was insane.
Yeah, and now I'm wondering, can Andy do that again? Like Hearttt beat Viper. Can Andy beat Viper now? Maybe. I'd expect Viper to be in better shape, but the group's a lot more interesting than I thought. So let's see what we've got here. And what is it? Group D?
E90official.tv/TTL.
Nobody else go to the site. It'll crash. So Hearttt gets 1 win. Andy gets 2. And so we have... This is sick, dude. We've got Dark at 7. We have Hearttt at 6. We have FreakinAndy and Viper tied at 5. And then we have Daniel and Valis at 2. So I think the hope for Daniel and Valis that they could somehow escape was that they could overtake Andy. And now after that result, that's going to look tougher for them.
Viper has a 2.37 chance of coming in first. Let's say he sweeps everyone.
If he sweeps everyone, I there's very good chances. And he's up against Daniel and he's up against Andy.
If he sweeps everyone... then he's like a couple wins ahead if everyone gets like a reasonable result. Let's say Andy sweeps Dark, right? So then Dark's not in contention for that.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't think Andy's sweeping Dark, but we can mess around with it.
Even if Andy sweeps Dark, Andy's in, like if he gets swept by Viper, he's in 4th.
Yeah.
And that's not unreasonable.
I think it's not unreasonable that Viper goes 3-0-3-0. Agreed.
And then if Hearttt sweeps Valis,
but like the Dark Hearttt series is actually crazy. That'll be the last round. Yeah, Heartt's okay. We're going with sweeps. Hearttt sweeps Valis.
I mean, the site can't keep up.
Yeah, I know. it takes a while to load.
People stop inputting.
But yeah, people maybe not all at once can go to the site and mess with it themselves if they want to look through the odds. But right now, it's a very close group. And I really liked what we saw from Andy today. I think Hearttt will have to go back to the drawing board a little bit. It'll be frustrating. Like I've spoken to some players, Dave, and they've got good standings in their group, but all they will talk to me about is that one game that got away.
Yeah. They're
just like, yeah, okay, I've got 5 or 6 wins, but I should have won that one game because every game matters so much. So I think that'll be Hearttt with game 1. Because I think he gets shipwright a little bit earlier. He prioritizes galleons, and then he probably wins it. So, but props to Andy.